a very good afternoon. My name is Sbu Shongwe and you're tuned in to Palm TV. This is the Money Maker Show. We're talking all things business today. What does it take to build a reputable and a trusted brand? Now, to help me unpack all of this, I've got two lovely entrepreneurs in the studio who worked very tirelessly to make sure their brands are trusted and reputable. That is JT35 owner Thembi Fofana and owner of All Natural Wigs, Phindile Mtyingizane. Also joining us via Zoom all the way from Durban is a man who needs no introduction, Musa Mseleku, businessman and TV personality. You can also join in on the conversation at Official Palm TV. We are live across all social media platforms. Join us from LinkedIn all the way to Instagram. Ladies, Sanbonani, welcome to the show. You guys look very, very lovely.
Thank you.
Sbu Shongwe is also joining us via Zoom all the way from Durban. You can WhatsApp us, comment, like, and share. This is a conversation for you. We're talking business. Sbu Shongwe, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you so much for welcoming me on the show.
How are you, my leader?
I'm doing very well. In fact, I'm more revived now that I am participating in this show, and lovely to see your beautiful participants on the studio.
I do hope your Wi-Fi connection at Tegwini is as strong as your business acumen, because your business acumen is on point.
No, we have the best here. Definitely, no doubt. We are killing it.
Look, lots to talk about, you and the ladies here who are entrepreneurs in their own right as well. What I want to know is, you wrote a book recently about how to make your first million. There's a lot of gems, there's a lot of keys to success there. Can you share with us some of the things opalangazo engasiza amanyama entrepreneurs as well as established entrepreneurs like the ladies here as well?
You know, when we were airing for the first time, there was a lot of controversy and interest around our show. And most importantly, people were interested on how have we made it, how we have accumulated so much wealth. And I wanted to share these ideas because there was so much of speculation. And one of the things that I think we have done very well as a family was to have courage after identifying opportunities around ordinary spaces where we felt that there was so much money going on.
Yes.
We started our mini restaurants around taxi rank. It's where we have started, around 2013 or before that. And we opened 4 of those mini restaurants. And if I can tell you, my brother, we were making not less than 1,000 rand per outlet. And we formulated a system that we will only bank the money that we are not going to use on the next day. And the difference between ourselves and the people who are still operating in that informal sector is that they did not realize that they had to build the credit record through banking their money. Hence, it will seem as if there is no value of the money that they are making.
Yes.
So the secret is the courage and making sure that you create a credit record with a credible financial institution, so that when you go out and you are looking for is either getting a loan or making investment, there is someone who can say, yes, I have seen this man starting from zero to something and from something to somewhere.
That is very interesting. And you speak of courage. I'll tell you who has courage. These two ladies right here. Sister Thembi, for instance, is in the product business. J35 Brands is coming along very nicely. What is that thing that sort of made you get people to understand what you are trying to do and to move away from established products? Because we know there's household names, right? There's a lot of things and a lot of products that are on the market. But how do you then get them to say, okay, I'm moving away from that one to Thembi's product now, J35 Brands?
Okay, JT35 I started as a makeup artist, then ran and I started having my own makeup schools.
Yes.
Then COVID hit and I got distracted with that. But I've always been making this product, which is a feminine wash. It's an intimate feminine wash. I've always been making that since 2013.
Yes.
I will actually make it for myself and some of my students, just give it to them. Because I've always been fascinated with odors. Like, I love smelling good, I love smelling fresh. So I've always been fascinated with women who smell good. To me, it felt like, why would we be smelling good? Why should we be looking good without smelling fresh all the time?
Yes,
Let
yes,
it be
yes.
just one thing.
So it must be synonymous. You can't
There
look
you
good
go.
and not smell.
No, not at all. I
good.
don't want that.
Okay,
I want when you
okay.
hug me, let me smell fresh.
Yes.
Do you understand? When you're close next to me, I gotta smell fresh. I need to look fresh and smell fresh as well. Now, how I started with that, it was COVID that actually prompted that for me to say, okay, listen, the makeup industry is currently not working for you.
Yes.
You can't have students at your school. Then I decided, you know what, I think I need to close down and focus on this brand, which is a feminine wash. And also it not is what we are talking about today is just a feminine wash, but it's a very big spectrum of products, if I may say.
Yes.
We have hers and his products. That's what it is.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. And then the question that you also asked was based on how do I then introduce myself to the world with something different, because already they have their other existing products.
Exactly.
My product, it's definitely something new in the market because it's formulated by me and it's something that I've been using, proven that it actually works. So I would say to people, they would rather have the experience with my product, then maybe they would compare that with the product that they know from the market.
Yes.
And this with
Yes.
what I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Phindile,
Yeah.
you are in the hair business,
Yes.
right?
Yes, I am.
How did you then, because everybody right now is going weave, everybody's trying to slay, everybody's throwing it back, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure Baba Mseleku has seen where he's based in Devon. Uyabazi ke baba, oh mama, ama-weave, mhlawumbe uyathenga, asazi ukuthi uyawuthenga ama-weave noma wenza njani eThekwini, but usisiphindile is in the weave game. How did you then feel like, okay, I'm going against the grain, right? Everybody's going here, I'm going in my own lane.
Yeah.
Has that been beneficial to you as a business model?
It's been very beneficial for me, even though it was never meant to be a business. The way I started is I made a wig for myself, and then I posted it, and then people reacted to it.
Oh, that looks lovely.
And they wanted to
That looks
know where they
amazing.
got
Yeah.
it and stuff. So that's how I started, and it's been very amazing because I started at a time where people were starting to recognize their natural beauty and their natural hair and stuff. So that's how it started for me.
Okay, so that's quite interesting, and I'm fascinated by the hair. I keep looking at the pictures, and I'm like, how is that? Especially for somebody who doesn't know, how is that a wig, right? But it looks so fresh, it looks so good. I want to know from Ubaba Mseleku, getting a loan, Mr. Mseleku, versus using your own money, your own startup capital in a business. Which one do you think works better? Especially in the context yokuthi siku pandemic manje abantu abanayo imali eningi. If you want to be like Sis Thembi, start your own product range, maybe you don't have that money. If you want to be like Sis Phindi, you don't have your own money. How do you figure that one out?
Being in business, there is a lot that I have learned. The first lesson that I have learned is that it's better to start small with something that you can afford.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better to start with the resources that you have, rather than having this big idea and then start on credit, because you will be forever indebted to someone else. So the mistake that we always do as people who are trying or aspire to be in business is to think big and not to try and condense whatever big idea to be a small idea so that we can be able to start. Borrowing alone is not always a bad thing, but that should be compared with how much of that investment, the return on investment.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to borrow 100,000, whereas you can only make returns of 5,000 rand, because that on its own, you are setting up yourself for a failure. So I always tell people that let us start with what we have. And people, they always ignore that. And I like the approach of the two ladies that are there to say they've utilized means and the little resources that they have or they had at the time, and they've grown out of that.
Absolutely.
So sometimes when I go to the street, meet people who are selling fruits, vegetables, who are buying meat on the street, they don't realize that that is the real business. It's where all of us have started. The only thing that they think is to drive a big car, is to have a big mansion. Whereas that is not the recipe for a good, successful business person. So I don't always encourage people to go and look for a loan. I rather say to people, there will be a time where we have built your credit record to an extent that it will afford you to use other people's money. But if you want to start with your own so that you don't owe anybody. Don't start with a footing where you are owning Mseleku, you are owning a lady who's sitting there. No, that is not the right way of starting a business. Start small and then grow from there.
True. Absolutely true. And I think one of the other questions that I wanted to ask, because Sbu Mseleku has a lot of gems, you know, when he speaks, you'll feel like, no, man, we need to unpack this thing based on his book as well that I did research on. But even yourself, Phindile, it's the same thing. You feel like, oh man, I'm learning so much. But with all of that said, resources, do you use your own money or do you borrow this, that, and the third? You guys are established business people. I want to know how you deal with challenges in business, especially when you started out, versus now that there's COVID, we're in a pandemic, you have to make adjustments. How do you deal with challenges how do you deal with them then? How do you deal with them now?
Okay, I at first, the biggest mistake that I made myself, what he's actually talking about, that's what I've made. Went to a bank, got a loan, the first business, because I'm a typical creative and artist. So when I become very passionate about things that I do. So I went to the bank thinking, who owns the beauty school around here? Thinking that actually I'm going to kill it.
So you thought you've arrived when?
That was the thing. That was the thing. I actually thought that I'm the it. I was like, I'm going to kill this. Kill where? 3 months down the line. And I had 250,000 loan. For loan. And like I had to renovate because I'm more of a glam. So I had to renovate the school. Had to do so many things. Like it was the most fabulous school that you could ever go to. Because I used to say, why are these people having a makeup school but they don't even renovate their space? No, they should come to my place. Without me thinking and without me knowing. And I took a loan. And that 250 just went down the drain.
Just like that.
The depression that I went through, it was something else.
Sure.
Then the second time around, I had to be a little bit smarter and find ways and say, you know what, already I've established my name. A lot of people know me through makeup. Then I started doing things on Facebook and Instagram and just
things to promote the business.
That was the only way. Now I had to move out, and now the landlord had to take the furniture, had to take every single thing that I owned.
That's the part that people don't get to hear. And before I ask, I want to know what are some of your challenges as well. Maybe there's a great story there. But before I do that, Sbu Mseleku, I know from just research and reading a bit of the book, How to Make Your First Million or How I Made My First Million, you talk about losing a lot of money when you first started a shop. You had a shop that you started from your salary money from when you were working at some radio station, I think. So there's a lot of these stories that happen. And that's the story people don't get to hear. They see Thembi Fofana, they see Musa Mseleku, they see Phindile and All Natural Ways, and they're like, they've arrived. Challenges?
Well, for me, I started very small because, like I said, I just made a wig for myself, which didn't cost me a lot. And from the get-go, I decided not to branch out into shops and other places and decided to stay at home and work from home because my business allows me to work from home. So I wouldn't say I had a lot of challenges when it came to loans and all of that. I was able to be able to work from home and be able to sustain the business from home.
Sure. Sustain the business. You know, I wish all of us can be like you. Like, no, I started it on my own and it was just for me. Because a lot of the time also, like myself also, I've made a lot of mistakes business-wise, especially early on. We have these grand ideas, Sbu Mseleku, as well. seqale ku Range Rover singakayi drive 1400. Just as an example, and maybe I did a bit of too much research on him because his son by the name of Ulwandle has a logistics business. He's 19 years old.
Nice.
And he's already
That's
starting.
beautiful.
You know, and that kid, I'm sure, well, he's got a great mentor, by the way.
Of course.
But that boy is not looking to buy a Range Rover next year.
Yeah.
He's not thinking this is a tender.
Yeah.
He's not thinking this is just instant money that happens. So he starts learning business values and financial education very early, Baba Mseleku.
You see, taking a risk is not always a bad thing, but taking an uncalculated risk is a terrible mistake. Because if you don't take a risk, you won't know whether you are going to make it or not. In my case, I have lost quite a lot of money in the process of trying to build this empire. And I share your sentiments. I share your sentiments of taking a loan and losing it. It's an easy thing to happen in business because you may never know what is going to happen once you are in the real business and you are marketing yourself, whether people are going to receive it well or not, or they will reject it. But you are talking about Luandle. The only advantage that Luandle has got is that he has me who has given him some resources. But other than that, the courage that is in him is something that I would not have given him if he didn't take a step. That is the first part. The second part is that Luandle understands that the big man comes from the small man. So in order for him to be able to have 1,000 rand, he must start from saving from 1 rand. And that is the principle, basic principle of making business. To say, no matter how much is spinning in your hand, in terms of rands and cents, but if you are not able to apply a basic business principle of saving the little that you have, you will never achieve. And the other thing that I must share with you is that people, they always think they must save when they have less. People must save even when they have bigger amounts.
Yes.
Once you take a 10 rand out of 1 million rand, it's no longer 1 million rand. So the principle that we always apply as a family is that we spend 10% of the 100% that we have. So we always try by all means to save 90% and spend 10%. And we will never deceive ourselves and say a hard-working body deserves spending money all the time. No, that is not the right way if you want to do well in business. You must apply tactics that are going to make sure that you don't spend. Hence, I am only realizing now why successful business people, they will always wear from cheap shops. I always ask myself, why are they buying these cheap clothes?
Because that's how you keep money.
Why?
Yes, that's
they
how
will
you stay
never
rich.
be deceived that a 10,000 rand suit is worth your money. They know the secret, that they are getting it cheap somewhere and they are coming here and rob us. It's a mindset. So when you say to me, Mr. Mseleku, I know you have so much money, go and buy in this particular shop, it's very expensive in certain. I said, no way, I'm not going. This is the generational wealth I'm creating.
For sure. So I think we can safely say no Gucci for Baba Mseleku, no Versace anytime soon. And I do wish, talking about his son having a mentor and having this ambition, you know, I wish a lot of people had mentors like him and mentors like you guys to just take them through, especially young women. But let's take a break. When we come back, more on creating sustainable and trusted businesses. This is Palm TV, the Moneymaker Show. We'll be back.
Previously on the Moneymakers.
Well, for me, is respect money and it will respect you back. That's it. Seriously, that's just what it is. If you have no respect for money, it doesn't matter if it's coins, paper, anything. If you have no respect for money, money will not respect you back.
Uzodwa wenu nini ngani kuphi kwenze njani kusha amaqanda kusha ama perfume kuyafiwa nje.
I don't suffer from abantu bazothini because I work so hard. Imali sestradini.
You know that if you were in something like this, nobody else would wear it.
I know.
I actually wanted to say that, but I wanted to put it nicely. Well, we actually do use all of us.
Senior song.
Marawana, because it's a blunt, you call it as it is.
It's like that.
Catch the Moneymakers on Mondays at 11 a.m. only on Palm TV, your #1 social media TV network. Previously.
And we're back. You're still tuned into the Money Maker Show right here on Palm TV. My name is Sbu Shongwe. I haven't gone anywhere. I've got two lovely ladies in the studio here. We are still chopping it up. We're talking what it takes to build sustainable and trusted businesses as well. Tune in on all the social media platforms at Official Palm TV. We want to hear what you have to say. Comment, like, share. We've got beautiful people here. Musa Mseleku is joining us all the way from Durban as well via Zoom. It is a lit conversation. Now, Sis Phindile,
Yes.
The natural wigs that you sell, right? It's something, like I said, you're going off the grain now. You're going on the other side. Everybody says wig. You're saying no. Let's do the natural wigs.
Yeah.
Is there any competition for you in that business? And how are you dealing sort of with that? How are you separating yourself from the rest of the people?
I mean, with any business, there's always going to be competition, but it just depends on how you treat your clients and how you approach and how you make your product. If it's a product that people like, they'll always come back to you. But if they're not happy with your product, they're not happy with your service, then they'll find someone else.
Yes.
So you just always have to make sure that you treat your clients the way they need to be treated, and your product is what needs to be, and people should love your product and be able to come back to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social media plays such a huge part in our businesses now, especially when you're in the creatives. You're creating a product, creating a product. Sbu Mseleku was busy with so many different things. I want to know from you, Thembi, before I actually ask him the same question, how has social media sort of played a role in your business? Has it been beneficial? Do you use it a lot more than you thought you would?
Social media has actually played a very big, important role in my businesses with everything that I've done. It has actually helped me a great deal to promote my product compared to the old route of print media and other things. It has actually played, and on the other hand, it's a lot easier for one to sell on social media because now you get a quick response.
Yes.
You would know exactly what your client needs and you would understand their thoughts and interact with them. It actually makes sense for business right now.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's going to be something beyond social media in 10 years that would also give that, but I highly recommend people go the social media route.
For sure.
And also, let's not, as business people, especially some of us with small businesses, I prefer collaborating with a whole lot of different people. It could be a comedian, it could be an influencer, it could be a model. So I prefer, so you just collaborate with different people and just give them a freedom to maybe talk about your product the way they are seeing it through their eyes.
Of course.
You don't have to tell them what to do. But of course there will be a little bit of limitations and stuff, but that's how I work, and social media has played a very big role for me. Yeah.
Of course. Sbu Mseleku, what about you? Social media, has it played a big role, Gwena? Because you run different businesses. You're not just in product or this or trucking or property. I know you do a lot of property as well. But in social media, since you started with it, how has it been for you?
Social media is this thing. I think it's a wonderful thing that has happened during our lifetime. We need to use it properly. We need to use it to our advantage, best of our advantage. I am able now to connect with a bigger audience than I used to. I used to consult with people, engage with them. If you look to my other channels, I am able to connect with people all over the world, in the continent of Africa, in Europe, wherever, where people are engaging with me. But the one scary part that has affected me badly and people that are following me is where people are being scammed using my name. I think that is the sad reality.
That is a very
and people haven't grown enough to learn out of that. And sometimes when we are sitting at home and you realize that people are paying so much because they believe in you, yet it's not you. You wish it was something that you were actually doing. At some point I realized that I would be making a lot of money because of being myself. But the sad part is that people, yes. It's funny that people are believing so much in this brand that they will do anything to associate themselves with it, even when it's killing them. So I think there is more that we need to do as people who are in this public space to make sure that we also protect our people. And I like what the ladies are doing. The hair part, the makeup part, believe me or not, my brother, even here at home, I won't tell you how much we are spending on that. But these ladies, they've got the right business. They are here to win it.
If there's a
keep
person,
on, ladies. That is the right way of doing it.
If there's a person who would know, makeup, it would be Mr. Musa Mseleku. So I want to go to your social media a little bit, Babu Mseleku and the ladies here. So Tato sent us a question. Tato, thank you so much for writing to us and sharing obviously what you think. So Uti, my father has given me a business and they're all stuck in old way of doing things. How do I share my direction with my father without stepping on anyone's toes? Ladies, this is Phindile.
Yeah, I think what Tato needs to do is to introduce step by step what he thinks will work for the business without stepping on his father's toes. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to isolate him because he's the one who started the business, and you want to incorporate everything within the business with the father and the son.
Yes.
So step by step, he needs to speak to his dad, introduce here and there, and then maybe they'll come to an agreement.
Thembi, what would you do? If you were Tato.
Yes, if I was Tato, right? It's such a good point that you just made. But if I was Tato, not Thembi, what I would do, I would literally just, because I know the social media way works.
Yes.
And I've seen that it's been proven that it works. I would just literally go straight with the social media without even telling my dad first. Then give him the results, the numbers. When you're
give
done,
him something that's proven.
there you go. No,
Okay.
I would work, as I'm taught, I would work on that.
Yes.
With social media. Then come back to my dad. Okay, this is how I did it. Because a lot of business people, we don't really care about you. You actually tell us about the actual product. Where's the money? That's all we care about.
Yes.
Where's the money? So I'm sure the dad will be interested in seeing money more than in me explaining the whole thing. The dad will be like, where's the money?
Yes.
All I need is money, is the numbers. Then you bring them in, okay, this is how I did it. This is the money that I brought through social media. Done.
For sure.
Then he will buy into that.
Mr. Mseleku, you've got, if I'm not mistaken, over 10 children now. Yes? If any one of them comes to you and says, Baba, business, this is what it is, social media. So a business that you are not really accustomed to when, as Baba Mseleku, you are more into practical things, even though you are learning the social media world and the internet and so forth. But irresponse yako kungaba yini, if a child of yours or a nephew or even some of the kids that you mentor, I know you mentor a lot of kids as well, what would you say to them?
My practical approach still applies even today, where I say to him, I hear you, or hey, I hear you, and then present it to me formally over and over again. I'm digesting it up until I say, if you want 100% of my investment, what is in for me? I ask that question. What is in for me? If there's nothing in for me, I'm not interested. You see, because any investor must know that we cannot be giving money just like that. We must make sure that there are returns for us, because that is how the world is. It doesn't mean that if you have money available, you must just give it as pleases to your children, because otherwise you'll be setting up them for failure. But not only that, I don't give 100% investment. Okay. I always give 20%. And I say, let us
So it's a standard fee. So wonke umuntu ofuna investment kuba Mseleku manje kufanele azi ukuthi kuzoba 20% or nothing.
20%, and then you work on that, and then you prove to me that it's worth my while. I understand that business always needs more capital to be injected. But if I give you 100%, even to my wives are involved in business. They know how difficult it is to come and ask for money from me. Yes. Ma'am Cool has recently opened a BBM Finance where she deals with money. But every month she must give me a report. She must also account. And if she needs money from me, it's not going to happen instantly.
Yes.
It will take some time because money is not easy to get, and it's not easy to sustain business.
Absolutely. I think it's really, really telling of how tough business can be. And once you're doing business, once you are in that space, you understand which is why I understand why then good difficult to tell my weave. Makeup, even though he still does it, you know. I understand. Yeah, but we must still support the ladies here.
Yeah.
Any advice to a young Thembi Fofana?
Yeah.
Who either wants to start a makeup school like you started, who wants to build their own brand? What would you say to them? What is your advice to people like that?
My advice to people who want to be in any industry, they should not hold back or still hang on to what was happening 3 years ago. Because I feel like business, especially the business that we're in, it's basically trends. So you need to switch on, like these millennial people will say, switch on, wake up, and
stay woke.
Find what's new, what's happening.
Yes.
And we still do the makeup, we still do she's still fresh off the orgasm, we still do, but what is there? What is there that is gonna make me be the number one business person or the number one selling, whatever?
Yes.
So they always need, you can't be doing things that we used to do 3 years ago. Then you're not gonna win. Because life changes every second. So you need to adapt to new things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you, Phindile, any advice?
For me, I would say, like we were saying earlier, is to start small. Don't think too big so early. Start small, start with whatever you have and grow from that. Because if you then go in and you want loans, like we were talking about, it's not going to work. And also believe in what you want to do. And if you don't believe yourself, then no one else is going to believe you.
Yes.
So you need to believe in whatever it is that you want to do, and start small. It will grow from there.
For sure. Mseleku, in closing, I mean, this is a lot. We need a book here. Somewhere soon we need a book. But in closing, you speak of a lot of key elements with success in your book. One of them that I really, really connect to is financial education. A lot of people don't have financial education, and you speak about strategy a lot. And when the ladies are speaking here, strategy comes to mind, applying strategy in everything that you do. You spoke about banking money that you are not using. For instance, if you're selling at the taxi rank, you're banking the money that you don't use for the next day to make sure you have a track record and to see what it is you're doing, you know? Just in closing, can you talk a little bit about that as far as strategy is concerned, and also your advice to upcoming entrepreneurs?
You see, we have graduates who are unemployed, and the fear they have is that they cannot do any job because of the status they carry with them every day. So when I met one lady at a particular shopping center who was at the till, I shared with her within a minute the money that a guy who's washing taxis at the taxi rank is making a day. If you are washing 10 taxis and you are charging 70 rand per tax, that will translate to 700 rand just like that. And I asked her how much she was making, and she told me that she was earning less than 4,000 rand a month.
Wow.
Then I said she must quit there and there. I said you must quit if you have courage, because I want you to go and make over 14,000 rand a month, and I will mentor you. And I'm saying to you, business is always in the corners where other people, they don't realize where it is.
Yes.
And we need courage. We need to bank. We need to learn this. We must do a lot of savings. No matter whether we are making 50 rands, if you are a business person like those ladies, a day.
Yes.
But out of that 50 rands, there is something that you need to bank, because you need to balance this equation. While you are using your own money, but there has to be a time where you will grow to an extent where you can use someone else's money. It's allowed in business to do
yes.
that.
Yes.
It's not a bad thing, but you must be able to balance the two. I love today that I can walk to any bank without asking to be helped, but they will ask me, how can we best assist you today, Mr. Mseleku? So we have reached that stage where they are willing, where they are able to trust us with their money. And I always say, because my interest is in informal trading, and I love those people, and I'm teaching them how to make money out of that. The only difference between them and myself is that they have not given themselves the value that they deserve out of the money that they are making.
Wow. Yo, that is words of wisdom from Sbu Mseleku. It's a lot, and I think we have a lot to ponder on. So Thembi, you've got something here.
Yeah.
Before we go, because I was looking at this box the whole time, I was like, what is in that thing? Can you just show us some of your products that are there as well? Because, Ran, this is Phindile. We don't need to go far.
Not at all.
Sbu Mseleku, we are born on it.
Yeah, you see, it's only that I don't look much on the merit side, but I can see the hair.
You're looking better.
And then on the other side, I can see the glow. And I can, compliment that one. Yeah,
okay,
I don't want your husband.
No, we are complimenting both. So since Phindile is wearing one of her wigs, it is stunning. It looks so beautiful. It looks fresh. I hope that everybody starts to support you and really starts to build your business. But I want to see what is in there. JT35 products.
Yes.
Brands.
The JT35 product that I have today, it's called She's Still Fresh After Orgasm.
Okay.
It's mainly for ladies.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's a feminine wash. So it's a feminine wash.
Yeah.
And so this is what it looks like. So it's got a step 1. Oh, you want to look at it? It's a VJJ wash. We can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a step 1 and step 2 inside, and then it comes with some little indicators.
So there's a step 1 and a step 2.
Yeah, a step 1 and a step 2. So step.
So you
1,
wash with the step 1 and then you wash with the step 2.
Yes, the step. Okay. The step 1 literally just washes the whole thing.
Okay.
Completely, and it just dries out all the unnecessary things that we want, that the juice, that the ones that causes odor.
Okay.
Then step 2, it's the one that actually hydrates, and then it hydrates you, and it's got that baby little, like that baby smell type of thing. So it just leaves you fresh. Hence, it's called She's Still Fresh After Orgasm. So it leaves you fresh the whole entire day. So it's been proven, and it also being approved by HPA.
Wow, that is awesome. And where can people get them on Instagram?
They can just check on me, Thembi Fofana on Instagram page.
Thembi Fofana. And All Natural?
All Natural Wigs on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
There you go. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. What a
learned
beautiful.
a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure the people at home have learned a lot.
Yeah.
And continue striving, man. It's all good to see women owning, driving their products, and it motivates the next generation as well. Sbu Mseleku, thank you so much also for joining us right here in the studio. We appreciate your time. We appreciate all the wisdom of Ishera Nati as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is the Money Maker Show. Thank you, man. This is the Money Maker Show right here on Palm TV. We've learned so much. My name is Sbu Shongwe. Until next time, cheers.
Yay.
Hi, my name is Sbu, the founder and owner of Phindile Naturals. You're watching Money Makers on Palm TV.
Palm TV, your number one social media TV network. Palm TV, your number one social media TV network.